G'day, this is Captainoob, and this is AnotherOne Kovrov AEK 971. This weapon mod was made as an add-on to the Zenit Redux mod, which means you're going to have the same animations and same sounds as that Zenit mod. That giant Kalashnikov mod has heaps of Russian rifles in it, but this one isn't quite like the rest. See, this one was not made by Kalashnikov himself, it was made by Kovrov, like the title would suggest. And what makes this version or this weapon unique is it's got this crazy recoil reduction system, which I'm going to try to explain, but I'm not a firearms expert, I'm a roof climber, so bear with me. This may not make a lot of sense. The AEK 971 utilizes a balanced automatic recoil system, which allows it to negate any of the recoil felt for the bolt reciprocating. And the way they do that is when you fire this thing and the bolt comes back, they've got something in the front here which runs in the opposite direction, the same weight and everything, so that impulse of recoil that you feel from the bolt coming back and slamming into the back of the receiver, you don't feel that, but you still feel all of the recoil from the rounds actually going off because, you know, equal and opposite reactions, a lot of energy is expelled when you fire these rounds, so, you know, the equal and opposite reaction has got to go somewhere. And what happens when the bolt isn't slamming back and throwing the rifle off balance, it means your accuracy when firing automatic is going to be a little bit better because it'll be more balanced. A pretty simple concept, and the way they've done it is actually quite simple and ingenious too. So it's not like the AN94 where it's so ridiculously complex and expensive to make that they can't actually utilize these things practically, but they made it work with the AEK, which is nice. The AEK was originally developed around the year 1978 and was adopted into some parts of the military around the year of 1980, to which it is still being used today. Probably not a huge gamble to say this thing is being used in Ukraine right now, which is an odd thought, don't you think? But this thing in real life fires the Russian 5.45mm rounds, which is like your standard knockoff NATO 5.56 rounds. It is represented by the vanilla game 5mm rounds. That's your minigun ammo, which I think is kind of odd because if you look at the spent cartridges that are being spewed out by the minigun, they are far too big to fit in this magazine. So perhaps a munitions patch here would make that make more sense. But as you can tell by looking at the side here, you've got the fire selector here, which can give you burst fire, but not in this mod. This thing is capable of burst fire, fully automatic, and semi-auto fire in real life, but there's no burst fire capability on this weapon mod, which is a little bit of a shame, but honestly, with AEKs, you want to go full auto anyway, because just like old Battlefield games, Battlefield 3 and 4, this thing had a rate of fire of like 900 rounds per minute, which is amazingly good at close range for bullet hosing entire squads down, but unfortunately, it's not going to be quite the case here. This thing doesn't feel like it's going to be firing anywhere near 900 rounds per minute, which might be overpowered, seeing as we've got 78 damage with the standard receiver here, but kind of sad that we don't get that bullet hose potential. You can upchamber this in different rounds as well. You can have the standard 5.56 NATO rounds put in this thing, and even big 7.62 rounds, which will require you to change the magazines to support those rounds, which I think is a pretty cool touch. But anyways, let's get started on the attachments. We've done enough dilly-dallying, and right now I've got the standard automatic receiver here, doing 78 damage, which is not too bad. Semi-auto receiver of the standard variety gives you 120, which is a cut above the 90 that you usually get from a vanilla game assault rifle, but we'll scroll down to where the good stuff begins. A powerful semi-auto receiver giving you 163 damage. That is before ace operator. Just remember, that's very good. And the powerful auto gives you 138, which is very, very nice. Also, we'll throw on our automatic receivers of the powerful variety, and we'll move on from that. We've got a legendary effect provided by legendary modification. We'll leave that, although, where's rapid? You could argue that throwing that one on would be awesome, because that'll increase your reload speed as well, which is even better, because, you know, the Battlefield versions had a very slow reload, but was stylish. You know, had to flick out the magazine, flick the magazine release with the magazine you're about to put in. It was cool. I don't think they did that in Battlefield 4, though. They kept that animation for the AN94, but never mind. I'm getting off track here. You can have standard iron sights. You can have glowing versions of those, slightly better to use in the darkness. There's also a range of scopes, including there's versions here that are Western, which are mounted on the rear of these iron sights, whereas all of these, or most of these Russian sights are going to be mounted with their proprietary systems there, because for some reason, the Russians are allergic to putting Picatinny rails on the top of their rifles like that. Maybe their factories aren't quite up to spec, but there's a huge range of scopes here, but we're going to go for something that's going to make this thing feel Russian. See if there's any Cobra sights getting around. Yep, that'll do. We'll do that one. A little bit of a chevron thing. for the reticule on this thing. I think that'll be just fine. You can't do anything for the pistol grip, so we'll skip that one. The charging handle, you can put a Zenit RP1 charging handle on it, which goes from this little sort of hook thing to a much more round thing. You can grab that easy. You don't have to worry about cutting your fingers. No. It just makes it easier to pull a charging handle back, so it speeds up your reload speed. Isn't that nice? Now, we're going to up-chamber this into the 7.62 rounds provided by Nuka World, and that'll give you this option for a magazine, which has a whole bunch of different magazines, including this banana magazine. That's kind of cute. And you can tell which kind of AEK that you're looking at just by seeing the mag curvature, but I will say that you can also see this little inscribing here saying AEK 973, as well as it's saying 973 up here as well, so that's some pretty good attention to detail. And this is a 60 round big casket magazine of 7.62 rounds, so yeah, we'll definitely throw that one on. Just a quick note, I'll have to console command myself some Nuka World ammo, but 60 round magazine for a weapon like this, my goodness. Okay, we're probably sitting on overpowered territory already. Now, the only thing you can do with the stock is add a pad onto it, like that, for a little bit of rubber, or fold it back completely. So if you're a paratrooper, you want to make this thing as compact as possible on the way down, you fold that stock in, and that's good. And the stock doesn't have to be entirely like recoil reducing, like no buffer tubes or anything like you would see with an M16, because you've got this whole piston balance system to help you out with your recoil control. You've got an AEK compensator here on the muzzle, which is your standard, and you put the AK-74 muzzle brake on, it'll have the same sounds. But if you use these ones, the sounds will be different for some reason, but we'll experiment and I'll show off the different sounds that these make. But there's only one suppressor I want, which is that big burrito PBS4 suppressor. Excellent. There's also different ones, but there's only a few suppressors here that actually give you that little bit of bonus to range, so we'll keep that suppressor on. There's also an extraneous damage booster here, which you can add even more damage onto this thing if you feel like it, but I feel like that is quite enough. Now, on the handguard here, you can add a rail on the bottom of that, and that allows you to attach some grips. So if you want to make it like a micro-bursting Battlefield 4 variant, you can throw on a mag pull grip there. Don't worry about the rate of fire, that's just a visual bug, but yeah, back in Battlefield, those angle grips used to give you a recoil reduction of your first shot multiplier by like 33%, so if you wanted to burst fire or micro-burst your AEK like you would back in Battlefield 3, then you'd throw that one on. But we'll go for a stubby grip on an automatic version. I feel like that would be good. And this one, despite looking like a 40mm grenade launch, that's actually a flashlight on the front, which goes against the whole stealth status of the suppressor muzzle, but that's there if you want it. There's also options for laser sights as well. It's a shame that you can't both use a laser sight and a foregrip at the same time, but, you know, maybe you could add another attachment slot on there. So there's room to grow. You can have burst fire and extra attachment slots, even though you might argue that having this thing too tactical and covered in laser sights might take away from the aesthetics of the weapon. But there we go. I'm going to create a couple more of these, and I'll show you how to get this one variant that actually spawns in the world, and then we'll get started. There's only one world drop AEK in the world, and the easiest way to get this is to first teleport to the Shamrock Tap House. So just keep in mind that if you do teleport there, there will be raiders surrounding you as you teleport in. So if you've got followers that'll kill the dudes for you, then that's fine, but they're in the like baby raiders, so that's not too hard. And what you want to do is find where this broken roof is. It's right on this particular pier where that kid will point out that there's a monster. That's the nuclear submarine.
Awesome.
But you'll find in this house with the messed up roof, there's a skeleton in the corner. He's got the AEK right there. You've picked up your AEK. Thank you, Vladimir. And that is how you get it. There's only one of these in the game. I'm not sure if that respawns, but if it does, you could probably harvest it again in whenever, like 20 days or whatever the game wants to respawn it. Righto, welcome back to the Immersive Gunners Plaza. Here is our AEK in first person, aiming down the sights. Yep, looks pretty good there. We've got a chevron reticule for our Cobra red dot sight, and that's what it looks like in third person. Here's the second one that I made, suppressed sniper status version with a PSO scope, which is a see-through scope canted off to the side a little bit. And the reticule on this thing, well, unless you're aiming at something nice and bright, you're not going to be able to see that. So we're kind of going to be to rely on the hit markers to guide our aim in a little bit, because even aiming at something like that, like, where's the reticle? I kind of wish they made the center chevron bright red, a little bit like the reflex sight. Next, we've got this one. This one here just has iron sights, automatic, with a muzzle brake laser sight on it for superior hipfire accuracy. There's the bash animation, by the way. And lastly, I've got a semi-automatic version of a unsuppressed version with much lesser scope. But this one, you've already got the little cross there, and oh dear, I'm out of ammo. Well, I think it's too late to start arming up now, so what I'll do instead is I'm going to charge right in here, and we're going to use this thing as a hammer. So what we'll do is we'll go into bullet time VATS, and then we'll get hacking, a whacking, and smacking. I want you to pay close attention to the damage we're getting on these guys on a bash kill, especially when we're hitting them straight in the schnoz. So, at this point, you're probably questioning whether you want to use this thing with bullets at all. I know I am. Like, this thing is a proper melee weapon. It hits way faster than any other melee weapon could. And if you use this thing in bullet time, you could absolutely crush everything within a matter of moments. And with Grim Reaper Sprint, you can just keep going and going and going and going and going. You can even sprint a little bit. So with a critical hit to the face, you're doing, I don't know, I think I saw like 18,500 damage there. So for bash damage, you've got this thing covered. Nothing is as strong as this. Even like Warfighter Workshop mods back in the day, where it had that sort of COD-inspired one-shot melee kill, didn't do quite as well as that. That's crazy. We might see that a little bit later against the bosses for like a stealthier takedown, but let's just load the thing with bullets and shoot it normally. Look at us smiling, getting shot like that. You know what's up. Alright, once more from the top. We'll start off with sniper status, 4x PSO scope, and we'll go from there. But at least I know if I have to reload, this thing isn't going to let me down. Now this thing is quite quiet with its firing. It's very quiet indeed. It's very subtle, despite firing a big 7.62 round. And as they come a little bit closer, we can hose them down even further. Now we could have made this weapon even better with a higher capacity magazine, but is that necessary? Probably not. So this thing's rate of fire is quite high. If I do spam on the trigger, I do think the weapon is going to be slightly less accurate due to the fact that the muzzle sort of jumps up and I'm still firing in the center of the screen, when usually the reticule is not quite there. Alright, let's go over to automatic now. So, yeah, it's definitely overpowered, both in bashing and normally shooting, especially for a, let's say, a stealth commando role. But, yeah, we've got this thing with, yeah. It's like Battlefield 4 Time to Kill. We're playing on very hard difficulty on Fallout 4. So, yeah, this thing is going to pretty much roll over everything. I don't even think we'll hear the combat music throughout this entire duration of this fight, but we'll keep on going. Maybe we'll use the lesser powerful version. This one. There we go. I still don't know where the extraneous damage numbers are coming from, but that's just a quirk now. We just have to live with that. So it's probably a little bit better whilst using this thing unsuppressed in terms of its balance, of course. But, you know, with the suppressor, there's more versatility, more options for stealth and all of that. So, no complaints there. Oh! Sniper knockdowns, or rather, knock up to the moon, in fact. Okay, I didn't expect that. It just keeps getting better and better. Oh, you love to see it. Anyways, we'll go back into bullet times here, and okay, not the most successful run there. I think we're eating up AP pretty fast using this thing, and I was sprinting around a little bit before. The combat music has showed up, but man, do I look worried? No. Lots of fire and everything exploding around me. It's fine. We're on top of this. As for third-person animations, we've got them. Would you like to see them? There we go. You'll probably find the animations very similar to that of your other Zenit arms. Which, you know, the AEKs are all the same bloody gun in the end, aren't they? So, it all works out. I think this recoil system could have been a little bit more, or the recoil in general could have been a little bit more present, because it's feeling like, I don't know, it's soft and fluffy recoil. It's like I'm patting a puppy. That's the kind of force this thing is extruding, at least onto the camera. There's no like super emphasis on recoil. Like a little bit, you could argue, when I'm aiming down sights, but I've got, is that a missile launcher? Put that down. That's a Hellstorm missile launcher. Bro walked all the way to Appalachia just to pick up that weapon to get killed by an immensely superior modded weapon. Anyway, so those robots over there playing with some ghouls, I guess. I'm just going to leave them alone, to be honest. But the only thing we've got left here is this door breach. And oh, look, there they are. We're perfectly poised to get the job done up here. They're still aggro to something, but they're not as strong as your average gunner. So you don't have to worry about them. Plus, I think they were armed with shotguns, so yeah, they weren't touching me. Anyways, COD breach. Probably could have done that without utilizing the slow motion at all. Tell you what, maybe I should give a look to some of those other Zenit guns, because if they all perform like this, then I think we're in for a good time when it comes to utilizing this weapon, don't you think? Also, my characters have been buffed. I think I slid it towards, I slid the dial towards, Pixel Mum a little bit too much here. Alright, there's the Mighty Swan, and his friend is in there. I suppose we'll just get going here. There's no reason not to just, I don't know, maybe use this in slow motion. It's pretty good, pretty efficient when it comes to that. And are you aggro to something? Maybe. I don't think it's gonna matter too much if he's right in my face like this. We'll add some criticals in the mix. Look at that. His health bar is absolutely melting right now. And so is mine if I stick around here. So I'm going to go over here and we'll finish him off nice and easy over here. Yes. Nope. There we go. I think we've saved Mr. Farmer over here. That's Gene. Is he the dog salesman? Is your dog dead? No, the dog's fine. What's the dog called? Junkyard dog. I wouldn't have called the dog that, but there you go. Well, that was easy. Let's move on, Pixar Mum. Alright, now we're going to use sniper status on the Wendigo. So, oh, that's a sniper knockdown. Oh yeah, this one's on ice. If I had a larger magazine, I think this would have been over by now. Well, that was easy. I suppose we've got time to kill some cloaked gunners. Maybe. Nah, not today. Let's move on to the next thing. Also, the reason I'm bringing this up is because I got this weird comment the other day about how my characters look weird with weird proportions. I don't know if you've ever seen photos of Katy Perry. Like, come on. Okay, this time, full stealth commander kill on the bear and his mates. And let's make this less, never mind. I was going to use some criticals. We'll just have to use the standard bullet time. Oh, so close. Just reload in slow motion here. And they're honestly close enough. Now let's use this one. Get some sniper knockdowns. Try to keep them away from me. There we go. Another reload in slow motion there. 40 round magazine. Plenty of stopping power. Oh. Did that one disintegrate? I think so. Also, what did you have, friend? Mutant Slayer's chainsaw. It's actually pretty good chainsaws in this game. Alright, well, I think we've sent the bear to the moon, so we'll try to hit him. Yep, that's got him. Sweet. Alright, let's move on to the last monster. This time we'll make it personal. Alright, time to finish this off. Now we're going to lure him out. Maybe we'll get a sniper knockdown on him. There we go. And now we oh, I see how it is. Okay, no sniper knockdowns. He's just gonna teleport away, coward. Well, there's more than one way of luring him out. Over here, buddy. Come on. Come on now. And now we enter bullet time. And then we hit him. And keep on hitting him. We'll try to go for the legs here. Oh, the mysterious stranger can show up on a bash too? Wow. Okay. I think we've got this. The mysterious stranger will distract him for a while, and by the time he's been killed, we go straight back into gun bashing. This is why it's important to measure your gun bashing mod makers out there, because if you don't want to see me doing dumb shit like that, then make sure you're not going to make it too powerful. But don't do it the other way either, where the gun bashing does like 20 damage. That's not cool either. You gotta find out where your standard vanilla game gun bashing is, and you know, maybe give it an extra 20 to 30%, just so it's viable. And if you put the effort in to make these animations in and put them in, you may as well make it worth it for the player to actually utilize that function, right? That's my philosophy to it, and I think you get the idea. So the AEK as an add-on to the Zenit Redux, the Redux, that's what it's called, actually. And ooh, look at the laser sight. That's weird. It's bending in ways where it really shouldn't, unless the laser sight on here is not fixed. Oh, that's really weird. Anyways, if you'd like to see this weapon in your game, check out the link in the description. We'll require the Zenit mod, so check that out first. Download that. It's like a whole gigabyte of mod to download there, but the AEK itself is like an extra 50 megabytes on top of that, which is seriously good bang for your buck. And you know, it's been a while since we've seen, I don't think I've actually ever seen an AEK in this game, so I'm glad that the one that we've got is going to be an extremely powerful weapon. Where's the scope on this one? Oh, there it is. It went away. A little bit of a bug with classic holstered weapons, but definitely worth a download if you are interested. And if you are a fan of Russian-style rifles, you find them to be lore-friendly or whatever, then yeah, it's a good weapon to add into your arsenal and add into the rotation. So check it out if you want. Thank you very much for watching, guys.